Keeping on. Uh, Welcome to this long-awaited Women in Construction dialogue, series of dialogue that we have been hosting since the start of the third cohort of Women in Construction Mentorship Program. It's truly an honor to be part of this network. And for today's dialogue, I'll be the host. I am Winnie Karpa, the Research and Trainings Lead, and also the Mentorship Program Coordinator at TAWAH Tanzania. And on behalf of the TAWAH Mentoring team, I would like to welcome all guests and invitees to this dialogue where we'll be learning from our esteemed we can say women in construction gurus who are performing really well. And today they will share their experience. But before even going further, we would like to acknowledge that we're in the third cohort of Women in Construction Mentorship Program, which started as a vision of empowering more women in the construction sector, where we start from the empowering women from final year students to recent graduates in order to give them smooth transition from academia to the professional. And there's no better way of learning than rather than by learning from the one who went through the same experience that you were in 10 years, 20 years ago. And so within this mentorship dialogue, we are happy that we are not alone. We're being supported by our group of mentors who come from different parts of the world, who they take that we can say that calling and support the mentees under their wings. We're very thankful for this force of great women who support other women, and also through the partnership with universities, where right now we're in partnership with University of Dar es Salaam, where we coordinate this program hand in hand, and also through the support that we get from different partners like Architect Without Borders, which is based in Germany, Siegel Family Foundation, based in New Jersey, and also the WIT Consultancy Partners, based in Kansas, USA. So you can see it's a force, or it's a group of actually supporting the women to excel in the construction field. And within this cohort, we are delighted that we have 97 mentees being mentored by 53 mentors from different parts of the world. We have mentors from Tanzania, Nigeria, Germany, Italy, USA, and Dubai. So we can say we are having that sisterhood, global sisterhood network in construction that connects us beyond borders. And without further ado, with today's dialogue, we really want to understand or learn on how women leaders or women take part in leading construction sector, and how to strengthen their professionalism. And as I introduced earlier, that in this slide will be guided by the inspiring journey of different panelists who are in different fields, who are also women leaders in the construction sector. And so we're going to start by letting them introduce themselves. Today, we are joined by three great women in construction leaders who are also in the cycle of who are also mentors in our third cohort of Women in Construction Mentorship Program. And round of applause to welcoming. We'll start with Dr. Elinorata Mbuya, where she will introduce herself. Thereafter, we'll go to Engineer Lilian Sengingo, then Architect Sophia. You're very welcome, Dr. Elinorata.
Okay, thank you very much, Winnie. Good evening. Is it evening? Is it afternoon to all of you? And it's nice to meet you. And as a panelist, I'm giving myself freedom to welcome you all as well, just as TAWAH welcomed me. So I really appreciate TAWAH inviting me. I feel I have a good feeling being invited to share Although Winnie, you are saying very experienced, very what and what, I don't know, I'm not sure about that. Yeah, so as introduced, Elinora Tambuya, I'm a quantity surveyor, a practicing quantity surveyor, a consulting quantity surveyor, but also a lecturer at Arthur University, also in the field of construction. So it's around quantity surveying stuff. Um, um, but as I introduce myself, I think it's also good if I also speak of I'm also a community member. Why am I speaking about this? Somewhere I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sibling, I'm a spouse, I'm a grandmother, I'm a church member, all of this stuff. Why? Because as we speak about construction professionalism, engagement in the construction sector, we cannot pretend not to see this other side. I wouldn't even say like it's an outer circle. I would say it's within the same circle. Why? Because these are futures that we live with, that we need to also accommodate in our professionalism if we are to work in harmony. Rather than let them being a distraction, we should accommodate them in a way that is supportive. So is how to balance them in. So I would say, yeah, that stuff. Being a quantity surveyor is already balancing the act, because we are balancing those, then adding a lecturer layer that, yeah, so all in all, mentorship for me, I would say mentorship played a good role in what I am today. Though I will speak about this mentorship later, but since we are discussing about mentorship, I would say it's quite relevant. It shapes how, quite, it has a substantial portion in shaping how a person turns out career-wise. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Narata, for such an outstanding introduction, and we believe to even hear more from you. So now we'll go to Engineer Lillian. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Engineer Lillian Atirio Senyingo. I'm based in Dodoma, a consulting engineer, professional, civil for the 18 years in the industry. Currently, I'm owning a company called Alien Engineers and Project Managers as a founder of the company, a female founder of the company. If you just go to ERB, you can only get 2 or 3 companies which are managed by female engineers. So we are very few. Actually, even consulting engineers, female consulting engineers, we are very few. Out of 400, we are like 17. So I'm very proud of myself. I'm proud of being the engineer. I'm proud of being a mother. I'm a mother of 4 kids, wife to 1 husband. What else can I say? I'm a mentor. Actually, I've been mentoring. This is my second time being involved in TAWAH. I joined 2 years back the first time, and this is the second time. So I'm very happy to be part of the TAWAH, and I'm very happy to be part of this program this evening. So what can I say? That's all about my introduction, but I know you'll get more about me as we go on in the dialogue. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Now we'll go to Architect Sophia. You're welcome.
Hello, good afternoon to everybody. And thank you very much for inviting me to be part of this dialogue. I'm so glad to share this conversation with you all of today. And I'm very glad also being a mentor in this program is deeply meaningful to me, because it is an opportunity not only to support others, but also to grow together with these wonderful young colleagues who have so much ahead of them. and to be beside them with heart, almost like a family. And well, my hope is that they never feel alone in this path. And sometimes, well, this profession is can be challenging. So, but together it's always easier. Well, I'm first of all a mother of two children, big children. Antonia is 20 and Simon is 12. My husband is German. I was born in Argentina, but I live in Germany since 25 years. I am an architect since in the last 30 years. And well, I'm an architect and urban planner. And over the years, my practice has been between Europe and Latin America, and the recent years in Africa. Well, I studied architecture in Buenos Aires, where I was born, and later I specialized myself in urban planning and participatory planning processes in Germany at TAWAH University, where I now live and work. And since last year, I'm also deepening my work through neuroarchitecture to better understand how space influences behavior, stress, and health. And well, about my work, I am an architect, but I do not see architecture only as the act of building. For me, it's more about people, about how they live, they feel, and connect with the spaces around them. And well, one question has always guided my work, and this is how do we create spaces that truly care for people. So and this, I want to share a small moment that changed it, how I design. And well, we were working in a participatory housing project with families and children, and we were talking about spaces, room design, materials. But suddenly, a child said, "I want a place where I can meet my friends, but also where I can hide when I need to think alone." And this changed a little bit my way of seeing the architecture, because it wasn't a technical question, it was more emotional, it was real. And this is what we don't we shouldn't forget, that people live in feelings, in safety, in relationships, and we have to work with them, not to design for them. And this is well, what I do is participatory design and sustainable architecture. And well, in this field I work, and yeah, I try to balance private life with profession, like everybody of us. This is me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, our dear panelists, for such a great, and I can say very inspiring, just a bit of the introduction that we're going to even learn more from you. And we have noticed and seen that we are more than just women in construction. We have other lives. And today, this is what we will actually delve into. How do we especially strengthen the professional? And in the midst of it, we have our social life. So that's really, really great. And also to our participants, please, you can use the chat box to introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from, and feel free to even use this as a comment section where we will come back to it later when we go to the Q&A session. So please feel free to engage in the chat box. Just like how our panelists started by saying or by introducing themselves, we are seeing that they are women leaders in more than just construction. And within this field, we believe they come up with different opportunities, different engagements. But actually, how do they manage to juggle within all this? And to start with, we'll start with Dr. Elinorata, who is not only a QS, practicing QS, but also an academician and a lecturer at RD University. We would like to understand, how did you first get into this, and how do you manage to juggle around being a practicing quantity surveyor and also being our lecturer at RD University, you are very welcome and would like to hear this from you.
Thank you, Winnie. So to respond or to have a brief discussion on this, I will speak of it not as a timeline, but rather a series or a path with some ups and downs, some decisions to make, especially the decision part. Yeah, so because you said how do I manage to juggle between the practicing and lecturing and the other one, because we have the beyond this circle. So first, I would say for me, and I know it is for most, that I didn't start with a clear path or like a grand master plan that I will be a quantity surveyor, then I'll try to join lecturing or whatever. It was more like whatever came first, because so it wasn't planned that I'll go into quantity surveying and then into academia. So I mean, there is I wish I could say there was a plan, but there wasn't, because maybe maybe for some of the more structured environments with clear career paths, with stable job markets, especially the stable job markets, maybe strong institutions. Maybe Sophia can speak more about this. Maybe the other side of the world, they have this. Yeah, but in our context where opportunities are limited, because that's the reality, and careers do not always follow a straight line, but it's a back and forth thing. So I just went into construction or into quantity surveyor is what came first. So though I see nowadays like school, lower secondaries, upper secondaries encouraging students to start focusing on a specific career, but I don't think it's still very practical in our case. Anyway, to show more of this, I joined first with the construction company. It was a class 2 construction company. This was the time that I immediately I would say graduated, but no, I immediately after handing in my final year dissertation. By then it was around June, and then we wait for a formal graduation in December. So this time in June, a person knocked in the home where I was living in Makongoju. I didn't know him. He didn't know me. He said, "I'm looking for Elinorata." He said, "It's me," because I thought he was looking for someone else. So he said he was an engineer and a director of a construction company. So he said, "I was referred to you by some staff member at the building economics department." That's the quantity surveying department. So we spoke. I went to his office on Monday. We just spoke. Honestly, I didn't give much of a thought. I just said yes. And what I was looking for more, not the professional, it's the earning the income. It felt very good earning my own income. So I didn't even negotiate the salary. I didn't say I'll come back to you. I just said yes. And I started. But back to decisions now, which I think is very important in this dialogue, is that despite saying yes, I was very scared. I was very nervous, because I was so fresh. Speaking of a fresh graduate, even the formal graduation was not done. But then at the back of my mind, I was saying, I should say no. And especially since it was construction, because we have this mind that when you go into practice, most likely to be a consulting company, not a construction site. Though quantity surveyors work everywhere in all ministries, in one contractors, uh, private firms. So I was struggling between myself. I didn't speak to anyone, not even my parents. Then I said, should I say no? Because I was nervous. Will I be able to deliver? But then I said, no, I'm not saying no. I'm going forward. So, in this was one of the major turning points. That just this decision. So, but again, it was a construction company. What I found another reality is that what we learn in class, not all will translate exactly as that in the field. Different issues. When you say measurements, I was told measurements, we measure by like this, but it's not exactly like that. Then issues of tax exemption. It was the first time I knew about looking for tax exemption, going to TRI, lots of people and stuff. But how did I manage? That's where I'm saying I was mentored. I first said about the issue of mentoring. I was mentored, but informally. Mentorship is mentorship. We didn't have anything like this, not even the AQRB internship program or anything. So I was mentored, but I forced myself into this. I used, speaking of walking kilometers per day in Dar es Salaam, because I come from the site in Upanga. I would go to one of the municipalities where I had a friend, a guy who was a quantity surveyor, to ask and get direction. Then to one of the privately operating quantity surveying firm as well, to ask. To ask. I didn't feel bad. I had to ask so that I survive and I deliver. So I say this, I term it mentorship because that's how I got around. And I'm proud to say I managed very well. I managed very well and I worked with them for 18 months. But then another decision coming with the third parties that I mentioned, I had to go for my second degree. But for the second degree was rather my mother's or my parents' decision. It wasn't mine. I was already comfortable. But later, I think not earning a very good salary. Maybe if I wasn't staying at home, I would have upped the game earlier. So I was comfortable. It wasn't just paying my fare, traveling, dala back and forth, and some few stuff. But if it was higher requirements, expenses, I wouldn't manage. But then I was comfortable with site procedures, the networks, the social side coming with it, meeting people and stuff. So, but my parents kind of, I would say they forced me, but I joined the master's program. I couldn't do part-time for that. It was very involving. Yeah, so, but my mother specifically said, no, this is not for a young girl like you. You see, because when she came to the site like twice, it is full of men doing concrete work, a lot of the language, you can't even repeat the word what they say. And I used to go there very early, leaving Makongo at 5. Even the night watchman used to wait with me for a daladala, and I come up 8, 9 p.m. So that was the first thing that my parents said. It's not for a girl, but I went on for months. But I don't regret the decision. But then that's why I mentioned in the path, there are also other people that you need to consider, not to totally sideline them, but to see how to accommodate them. So, but I think it was a good decision to go for my second degree. And to quickly round that up, I also, as I was finishing my master, I then was thinking what to do. It is at this point that I approached another director. This time I'm the one who went forward. It was an architectural consulting firm. And my friend used to work there, an architect. So as I visited her, I said, what can I ask for an occupation here? So she said, if you dare, if you can, ask. So I went to the boss, and with this company, you don't speak like the secretary, it's straight to the boss. So I explained myself. He said, we do not need a quantity surveyor because you know how we practice. He has a consulting firm, but has a different quantity surveying firm, a complete firm whom they work with. But he said, if you can be a PA, a personal assistant, I said yes, because I thought yes or no, but I said yes. I joined them. But it was interesting because I used to be some quantity surveying when we do some approximate estimates, some quick stuff. Then sometimes you don't know if you are really a PA or a secretary, some accounting, some home stuff. Like, Angela, can you do this? It's for the home. I didn't say no. It didn't distract me, but that's somewhere also to discuss if people like to think about that. So these are the important, and then from this, I wait for another 15 to 18 months, I think, before I really advertised. And from this architect, I also got a good reference to go to apply for RD. But all this in respect to our dialogue today, I would say first is what shaped me is first I would say the competence. I don't want to brag, or it's not like I'm very good or I figured that all. No. But why did I get good references for first from a staff member to join the construction firm, the class 2? It was quite big. And I was hoping there was a senior QS to guide, but there was none. So I was even scared, but I was proactive and decided to just keep there. So it's about that act of decision making to go forward and ask around. And this mentorship, as much as it was informal, and it's not like those two were the only people that I asked, can I come? Can I ask? Can I want to know? There were several, but this one came as more approachable and welcoming. You know, there's a person who will say welcome, but you feel it's not a warm welcome. But they were very accommodating. Like sometimes over the weekend, I went to their home, meet the family, but then get directed. So that's also another thing for which I advise the mentees, and also for us mentors, because we keep learning, to keep doing. Don't be scared of asking or learning, but also recognizing the influence of the third parties. But everyone is different in these personal, family, and community issues. It's up to one to know how to balance. But the issue of good references and being competent, because I believe that's why I was referred. So I would argue or encourage the mentees to work around there. So you said how I juggle. The main question is, yeah, juggling. I'm not sure about this term. Does juggling means like you are stretching too much, you're struggling too much? I don't know. Yeah, that, but also I would say how to balance these the responsibilities, how to integrate them. Sometimes you'll find I forget about practicing. I keep things piling, focusing on lecturing. Sometimes there's a pause here. You get more time. Working overtime is very common. Yeah, but yeah, it helps. And sooner or later, you find that time is the biggest hurdle or the biggest challenge in trying to balance. So let me stop here for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Elinorata. And this has been truly a great ice-breaking and eye-opening on how it's never an open roadmap. And thank you very much for stressing on art, the art of decision making. And we truly can see how this really transformed your journey and into now knowing the Dr. Elnorata that we see, who has been through a lot. And for this, we really congratulate you for this. Uh, Nobody even knew that you even had to start becoming a personal assistant in a construction company, but there's never a clear path, and you made it through. So, as we move on into understanding more on the practice side, and I believe also this would relate with also what Dr. Honorata said on decision making, which can kind of be tricky. Would like to now hear from Engineer Lillian as the founder and director of, we can say, one of the not so many women-led construction companies. She even said that there are only two, if I caught her well, and she will explain us more on how was the journey, what even made the call of starting a construction company that now is really doing really well in different regions of Tanzania. And please, Engineer Lillian, we would like to understand your journey. How was it back then, and how is it now? How do you do to even keep it more sustaining?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Once again, good evening. As I first introduced myself, actually at first I didn't want to be an engineer. That was at first, until I finished A-level. It's when my brother told me, please be an engineer. And I understood because he was graduating from being a mechanical engineer, and he thought if I also be an engineer, I don't know what was in his mind, but I agreed and I joined the engineering course. And by the time I joined the engineering course, I was the only female selected direct from the government from 60 results. Luckily enough, the government introduced a special program whereby it was including female to join science subject at the university. Then they came more four females. So we were 5 out of 40 by that time. That was 2003, 2004. So out of 40, the class of 40 students, we were only 5. And by the time we finished the college, only 3 of us who were still practicing engineering. 2 of them, they are out of engineering completely. We don't know what happened, but that's how the situation was. So at the time when I finished university, I went direct at home because by that time they were not even sure if we employ this lady, will she work, nothing. But luckily enough, I had a friend whose father had got a company, consulting company. That's when I was able to join a consulting company called TAN Consult, and I've been working for TAN Consult for 10 years. I've been there 10 years. I've never gone to any other company. Then from TAN Consult, I had my own company. But if I go back, what I just wanted to say is, being an engineer, those years, it was not easy because everyone was thinking, she's the lady. Will she be able to go to site? Will she able to go to do those hard works? You know, engineering, it has got concrete works. You go to site, you have to climb like 10 floors. People are laughing at you. I remember the first day when I went to site, I didn't wear a trouser. I was in a skirt and top. Now the fundis were down there. I was climbing the steps, and they were looking at me down from. Then I was wondering, what type of life is this? How am I going to manage being a lady, going to site, and life is like this? People are insulting, like what QS Honorata said. The life at site was very, very difficult. So I had to stay at consulting firm. You know, consulting firm, you don't go to site normal. You just be in the office. You work from office, you deliver, then you give people at site, they use what you have delivered. So I worked at a consulting firm for 9 years. And by that time I had first degree and master while I was working at that company. So after getting my master degree, one day I met a male engineer, very, very senior engineer. Just said, Engineer Lydian, you are very capable. Why don't you start your own consulting firm? Then I was saying, having a firm again, a female, will I be able to stand out? And I know the engineering field is male-dominated field. If you stand up as a female, people will just be looking at you. You are not even given a chance. Even in a leadership, you are not being given a chance. Then I told that I was calling him Baba. I told him, okay, let me go and think. Because at that time, I was also working at ERB. He said, if you have any problem, when you want to register your company, I'm there. I will just help you. I will lead you what to do, how to submit your documents. Don't be afraid. You are very capable of doing this. Then I said, okay, let me think of this. While I was still working in a consulting firm, it's the time that I also wanted to open my own consulting firm. But how do I open my consulting firm while I'm still working under someone consulting firm? I went to one of my bosses, now he's late, Engineer Chua. I just told him direct. I told him, sir, I just want to open my consulting firm because I'm already registered as a consulting engineer. So I'm capable of having my own consulting firm. I was very surprised when he said, okay, I'll sign your documents. That's where I started, and that's how the journey of being a consulting engineer and having a consulting firm started. I opened my firm, and I was very lucky. You know, when you want to open a consulting firm, you have to submit your form, and they visit your working area, your office. If it meets all the requirements, then you are given the registration number and whatever. One of the people, two of them who came for the inspection of my office was that Baba and my boss. So at least out of 4 people, 2 of them, they are on my side. So I was very lucky, and I was registered. I was given the rubber stamp. I was given certificate. That's when I started my company. But again, how do I get, how do I get projects? Because I was very new. What I was doing, like as consultants, we are we are supervising contractors. We get maybe a Chinese company whereby we are the consultant and they are contractors. When I was going to supervise them, I was introducing my company. I was saying, if you have any internal project and you want a good designer, a good civil structure engineer, please, I have my company. Just let me know, I'll do you in a fair rate. We'll just sit down and negotiate. And then lucky enough, I got a very big project. It was in 2020. I got one big project because it was like design and beauty, because the contractor just involved me as his own structure engineer to do design review. That's where now I became, I got many people get to know me and know my fame. Right now, I have projects in Moshi, I have projects in Shinyanga, I have projects in Mtwara, and Dodoma, of course, I have several. That's why I'm based in Dodoma. At least in Dodoma, I have four clients. In Mtwara, I have 2, Shinyanga 1, and Moshi. For my company, because it is not that much, it has only 5 years. So for me, I find it is a bit on a good stage, because 5 stages projects on hand, and having like 6 engineers working, because I have 4 female engineers, I have 2 male engineers in my office who are working for me. So at least I can be very comfortable that I can now stand out and advertise my company, advertise my firm. People know me, and most of the people who are working with me are the contractors, because I've been working with the contractors since I graduated for 18 years. I've been working under the contractors, and most of the contractors are Chinese contractors, very few local contractors. So at least if you work for this contractor, then he goes and tell the other contractor, if you want an engineer, contact engineering. Right now, I got a call from Manyara. They are doing Manyara Airport. the contractor just called me and said, "You're engineering?" And yes, I got your number from this so and so. I want your service. Then I said, then it's okay. That's how I go about my firm. So it's a very young or junior firm, but at least I know where I'm going to be much better than where I am now. So the other question in my part, you said, how was your journey? Okay, that's how my journey, and that's how I'm going. And what has enabled me to grow? Of course, I'm still growing. I'm not saying that I'm there. No. I'm still growing, and I'm sure that I'll reach somewhere whereby I'll be identified. Because right now I have only 2 government projects, and to get government projects, you need to be very experienced, and you have to join with experienced architects. Now that's where comes the problem. Most of the projects, all the projects that are being advertised by the government, you have to join with the architect, and the architect has to be very experienced architect, quantity surveyor, I don't know, service engineer. So it is very difficult most of the time to get government projects. So for now, I'm very concentrating in this working like design and build, working under a big company. I have only 2 government projects. Of course, those I got through someone who has introduced me to a certain company, to a certain government entity. That's how I got the project. And one project I got through TANEPS, those times when it was called TANEPS, that now it is called NEST. That is the other project that I got. So I'm still growing. I've not reached where I want to reach. And the field of engineering, as we all know, it's a male-dominated field. Whenever you want to come out, the male also are coming out, and those are very giant, and there are so many. So you might find in a group of 30 people in a meeting, you are the only female engineer, or in a group of those companies that you want to join and have the project, you are the only female. So it's a bit challenging, but we are still going. And I'm so sure that we'll reach somewhere. Because even now, when you just check the statistics, for the female who are joining university for science subjects, the number has increased. It has increased a lot. And that's very good, because now even people who are graduating, the number of female who have graduated from science subjects are the number, at least we are more than 30%. Because those days, those years were only 3%, 10%, but now we are more than 30%, going to 40% of female who are in science subjects when you compare to the total number, female and male. So at least we are going somewhere, and I know after some 3 to 4 years, there'll be more engineers who have got their own firm, and they'll stand out. Right now, I've been mentoring, a female engineer. Of course, we are also same senior, but in the registration, she just registered very late. But now she's about to open her own firm. That was through me. I just mentored her. I showed her how to do it. She's about to get her own registration and carry on the consulting, consultant services. So that's how my firm is going in the field where women-led companies are still few, and we are very few, as I told you before. Out of 400, now we are going like 500 consulting, because in engineering, ERB, Engineers Registration Board, when you become a professional engineer, the next stage you become a consulting engineer. For the professional, there are so many, like 4,000 or going to 7,000. But going from the profession to consulting, where I am, we are about 500, if I'm not mistaken. But out of those 500, we are not even 20 female. Imagine, we are not even 20. You leave aside those, like there are 5 of them who are already retired, those senior mentors who are already retired. But out of that 500, if you just count, and I just got recent data, we are not even 20. So we still have a long way to go. Us who are already in the field, us who are already on the firms, we need to show the way for the young engineers. It is not that much difficult, just consistency, just professional discipline, technical credibility. Only those 3 major issues, they will take you somewhere. Just know that You need technical credibility, professional discipline, and consistency. No shortcut, no corner, nothing. You might find you are in a meeting, maybe there are, most of the time when we go to the government projects, you might find the whole conference male, and most of the projects for the government in miradi ya siasa. Now there, if you are not strong enough, they won't even listen at you. Even if you have got good point, they won't listen at you. So at least if you are capable, you are competent, your technical credibility is very high, you can stand out and show them that being an engineer is not for male, even for female, we are also in the field. Yeah, maybe I can just wind up by saying that. But also we are facing, right now we are facing a challenge. Like I was doing interview in a setting, of course, most of the time when people want to recruit engineers, I've been involved in doing the interview, one of the geopolar watu wafanya interview. One day I had a person say, this is first, there was a list. Of course, at the end, you have like 20 people who have shown up for the interview, and you find like out of 20, 5, 6, they are female. And those 5, 6 female are the ones who have got top marks, like the cutting mark is always 60. But you might find those 6 female, they are above 60. And the rest, most of the male are less than 60. Now, one of the person who was one of the person we were in the panelist interview, he said, how comes? How can we take all these female and leave them? We need to mix, like we take 3 female and the rest we take male. But I told them, no, this is not right. If they have come up, if they have shown us that they are capable, what is the reason of not taking them all, and you want to take the male? You see now how it is. So if there's no one to stand up, there's no one to talk up, things are always like that. We will always be undermined. We will always, they always want to be there to dominate. They always want us to be down. That's what is not correct. So we need to stand up. We need to show them that we are capable. Yes, that's what actually I'm trying to show now. Like now, I really want to work with female because I know they are not being given chances somewhere else. But when they come to my office, if you are 2, one is female and I want 1 person, I'll take the female. That's my principle. Thank you.
Hooray! Thank you very much, Engineer Lillian. I was just jumping up and down. And this comment in the chat box really tells us a really great story that even from your story, we saw that you have a potential that people see and they come to you, they tell you, and you work on it. And when you come back for the feedback, they even support you even more. And I like the fact that now you are supporting more with more female, even into opening their companies.
Yeah.
Kudos to that.
Thank you
you
so
very
much.
Yeah, and also continuing with the women-led companies in construction, we would like now to shift our lens beyond Tanzania, where in this, architect Sophia will really much help us in understanding through her story, through her journey. She is a founder and director of Studio Salviani, which is in Germany and Argentina, but also through her works, she has worked in different areas of Europe, Latin America, and also Africa. And we would like to understand, Architect Sophia, that through this working in different continents, and also you're a mother, you told us that you have 2 big kids right now. How do you actually manage working in different continents and at the same time being a mother? Welcome, Architect Sophia.
Thank you very much for your question, Winnie. And this short introduction is true. The last 25 years, I've lived between two continents. My life was split between Argentina and Germany. And when somebody asks me how I managed to work while being a mother, I always say, well, because of my own mother and because of my family in Argentina. Staying connected to Argentina was essential for me. And I wanted my children to grow up knowing their grandparents, family, understanding where I come from, and feeling those roots as part of their own story. So I took them with me whenever I could. And at the same time, I supported my parents financially. So wherever I earned there in Argentina, stay there for them. And that responsibility was also my motivation. So of course I didn't do this alone. My husband supported me a lot. He still supports me, and I learned to blend work and family in creative ways. So I remember when my son was born, 12. Well, yeah, this was 13 years ago. So during my pregnancy, I received a contract to design a house in the countryside of Buenos Aires. My baby was 3 months old. My daughter was 7. And instead of choosing between work and family, I decided to rent a big house in the countryside. And I took everybody with me. My parents, my sister, my nephew, my friends could visit me there. And the experience showed that my family is not a limitation. A family is a network. And I also learned that the priority was visiting my family in Argentina in my life. So I invested in flights. I had a lot of moments, very terrible moments with my children. They were small and I was flying around the world. But those trips became my way to keep my identity alive, to stay connected to my places, to my real essence. So, but the truth is is that the challenge of balancing this motherhood was always there. This started already much earlier, actually, with my first daughter, so 20 years ago, because I had already been living here in Germany for 5 years with my husband. My dream was to have children, of course, but I had very few jobs or job opportunities. No, so I was doing small interior design jobs. I was helping in a kitchen design studio, and I knew that without a stable position, we couldn't afford to start a family. And if I had a baby at that moment, it would be even harder to enter the professional world. So I decided to apply for a master's degree to strengthen my curriculum. And then I decided to make urban studies at Bauhaus University here in Germany, which was another dream for a Latin architect in Germany. And 1 month after receiving the acceptance letter from Bauhaus University, I found out that Antonia was on her way. So due exactly when the program would begin. So I thought about rejecting the offer of Bauhaus University. I felt so like torn between two dreams. And then my mother told me something that changed everything. And she said, children always come with a piece of bread under their arm. They bring the solutions with them. So life reorganizes itself in ways we don't expect. And that was exactly what happened, actually. I started my master's 1 year later with little Antonia. I organized myself with my husband. Antonia went to a kindergarten during my classes. I went running to pick her up so we could spend the rest of the day together. I missed her a lot. So the time we had together became even more meaningful. I gave her a quality time, and when she fell asleep, I studied. The master took, of course, longer, but I was a happy mother, a happy woman. And I understood that families don't need us to be present every minute. They need us to be emotionally present. And if we are physically there but unhappy, we can't really accompany them. So both of my children grew up knowing that I love my work, that everyone at home has responsibilities, they both too, and that we truly enjoy being together in our free time. And we are actually our own network as well. So we support us each other in every task we have to do. I must say that technology was also became a great support for me, because during the pandemic, for instance, I had a project in Buenos Aires and couldn't travel. So, well, we did everything digitally. We adapted. And today, that flexibility is a huge advantage to combine family, private life, and work. For instance, today I'm with my family in holidays, but I'm here. So this is because of technology as well. We can combine it, and so we don't have to travel so much. I even expanded my network and now work with a partner in Argentina. A friend of mine is also a colleague. We studied together and we trust a lot. So he is my network there. So I'm not alone. And at some point, I choose to work independently. This was also a decision because of my family, because if you are employed, you can't decide when and how you have to be with your family. So independence of decisions is very important to be to combine both things as well. So I decided to work always as an independent contractor or self-employed, as I am nowadays. But always inside a network, interdisciplinary, aligned with people who stand by your side, and to choose who can be part of your network, and also decide who maybe not. So we need good teams, we need connections, and we need support around us to combine family and not even family. Sometimes I have colleagues, they haven't got children, and they also have difficulties to combine private life and work. But actually, we are not what we do at work. We are our private hours, our private lives, even with family or not. But we are first people, persons, and then we work as an instrument of being happy. And this must be our goal. So our life.
Thank you very much, Architect Sophia. And truly, we have come to a point where I can relate in all these engaging stories from our panelists, that from the part of decision making, I mean, somebody will even ask you, a mother, and also you're about to do your other degree. How could you even manage this? But it's really great when you said also family is part of your network. So you're like, okay, all of us, let's go. And you didn't even leave this behind. Yeah, as much as we are leading in construction, let's also not forget our families, because they are who we are and their identity. So if there's also one among the biggest thing that I learned from you, Architect Sophia, in sharing this, is that family is also our identity. So let's just figure around how we can move through it and being supportive to one another. Thank you very much on this. And
Thank you.
please, dear participants, you can keep on using the chat box as we keep on understanding more and learning from our panelists. Where now, from this narrative, from this journey that our panelists shared, we would like now to understand that somewhere, somehow, we have values instilled in us. As women in construction, there are some guiding, there could be personal values. It's subjective according to a person, but we'll take this to Dr. Elinorata on please sharing with us how big does values, one having values, play part in their professional growth. Welcome, Dr. Elinorata.
Yeah, thank you. So power went off. I'm just trying to use my power bank to get some internet, but and I'm using the phone internet, so the signal is very low. And that's why I switched on video to at least get some bandwidth. So can I go off video and speak to save on? Yeah, please.
Okay.
Maybe the
Yes.
signal will be stronger. Yeah. Yeah. So about the values, I think like I've spoken about that. I'm not sure very much, but when we speak about values, I'm trying to think of aspects that will now go beyond theory. When I say go beyond theory, it's what shows in day-to-day work environment. So I spoke about competence when I was speaking about what I think made me connect to the area opportunities that I have, because it was just by someone referring to someone, and I stayed because I believed that I delivered to what they expect. I don't mean 100%, but at least some to a level that is acceptable. So if we speak of values, I would say firstly about competence. And I would say competence before confidence, because if you can be confident, and we speak about women confidence and stuff, but I assure you, if you don't know what you are doing, the confidence is zero unless you are using other criteria. But you need to even if I'm saying this because sometimes we feel the pressure as women, if you are the only women in the room, like Engineer Lillian said, you feel like to show I'm here, I'm capable, but still it's good to be confident, but competence should come first. So it's yeah, that's why I say it's drove back to what I said earlier, but also consistency. Also, Lillian mentioned about consistency. We have people, it's human nature, it's not a bad thing. We have people who are very brilliant, but they are not reliable. Someone will show up occasionally or once in a while. This is not good. It's not commendable. Most people would rather be with a person who is consistent, who is reliable, persevering, so deliverable that would come in occasionally. And because we keep learning, so it's okay. And the courage, professionalism, yes, professionalism, asking questions. I'm also thinking about my own journey or my own path, how I went around asking, tirelessly learning, but also challenging what we think is incorrect. Yeah, so I didn't mention, but I think it's worth mentioning that I left it intentionally, uh, thinking I'll speak it later, maybe as I wind up. I later got a formal learning opportunity with the internship with AQRB arrangement. That's when I was already lecturing, but then I thought I'm already here. So what do I do with my other time? Not that I had extra, because you'll have extra classes and extra till you ask the head country look for part-timers or yeah. But then that's when I remembered when I speak of professional courage and what I learned while working with QS Dr. Ntiankunze, because he was a mentor where I formally did my internship for 2 years before registering with AQRB. So I learned more values because then it was a systematic arrangement. Different from what I had earlier, I would rush to ask to my colleagues for exactly what I had in questions so as to go back and report and complete my work. But now, remember, AQRB have a structured system, a list of topics or knowledge areas that one should learn to be competent. So just like TAWAH, and I don't know of other such systems, but that's where I learned, because you need to be consistent, show up. If office time is 7:30, you need to be there at 7:30. If you are coming late for something, you need to notify with reasons which are not just excuses, but reasons that the director could accept. Yeah, and that consistency thing, reliability, and such stuff. I remember there's this time Dr. Ntiakuze used to go to Sweden. He was doing some training there, but he'll leave the office. I was with some, it was better because unlike the first time here, I had some colleague. We were two quantity surveyors, both learning, but it's better than being alone. So though that's as much as I would say they are the values that shape or are still shaping me, trying to comply as much as that. And for asking question, some of my students know, even today I'll still call some who are practicing. I need something which is current, I don't have it, I'll just call and ask. I ask a lot. So as mentors, we are still learning. So it's not bad to ask and keep learning. Another value which I wouldn't say that I've done very well, I wish I would have done, but I don't think I have time now, but I'll ask, is to apart from the basic competence, reliability and consistency, professional courage, is to keep adding the values with what is happening. The construction industry is evolving fast. So to add, if you hear as mentees, as even mentors who are still have the energy, have the time. I don't believe I'm saying having the time, because we need to make the time. It's to add the values, the technical values, add certifications. For instance, registration as a quantity survey, AQRB certification. And then if you hear about any courses from NCC, AQRB training course, law, arbitration, auditing, procurement, some digital tools like use of some modeling, building modeling, estimating software. just make time to learn, not necessarily when they announce a course, maybe it's too expensive, maybe you don't have the time to attend for 5 or 10, 2 weeks consecutively while you have others. But you can ask someone, can I come to your office evening hours? You train me. A lot of arrangements exists, and so that's very important to keep. That's for the mentees. Now, I wish it could be one of the factors that is shaping me, but I'll pass that to the others. Yeah, thank you. That's much for this question.
Thank you very much, Dr. Narata, for quite elaborating this on how, as much as we want to be confident, let the competence be first. And I believe I would definitely second on continuous dating or upgrading our knowledge as far as technology is involved and construction is evolving every day. So this is quite a great take note from us and from what you have truly explained. And the act even of just showing up every day. There are some days that we as the leaders, we understand that we hold the destiny or the, yeah, we could say the destiny of our team members or the teammates. And as much as when one team member is not reliable, that means the whole team will fall off. And as much as construction is our field, we know that teamwork is really the tip of it. So thank you very much, Dr. Narata. And within this also, it would lead us into the light where we have set the values, the ones that everybody thinks works best for him or her, and we are competent. Let's assume we have done this all, and definitely, how does this make the people we engage with come to us every single day? And this we would address it to architect Sophia. Among the 30 years experience you have been in the construction field and still in it, we believe there's quite a great reason why your clients, the people that engage with you, will definitely wake up in the middle of the night and say, I would want to work with Architect Sophia. And please enlighten us on this. Why do you think you're where you are, people coming to you in need of your service, and also the role of women as leaders in the construction? You're welcome.
Thank you. So why I believe that the clients, our collaborators, choose to work with me. What I've learned over the years is that we shouldn't always wait to be chosen, actually. We have to choose first our purpose, the kind of work we want to do, and the people we want to collaborate with. When we know that, we find our place, our little corner where we can give our best. And failure has also been a great teacher for me. Every time something didn't work, it happened something new. It opened a new field, a new opportunity. If we are always chosen, then someone else is deciding our path, and comfort zones are always dangerous. So we grow after the difficult moments. So we actually need them. And when we know who we are and what we should stand for, then we can offer something very powerful, that is trust. So being credible, human, honest, and proud of our story, our identity, actually. So I always say, I live in Germany. I am an Argentinian and live in Germany, and I can't offer the best goulash to the Germans. That's not my essence. So goulash is a typical German meal, no? But I can offer them as what comes from my identity, my empanadas. This is a very Argentinian meal, a very typical one in Latin America. And they will enjoy it because there's something different. There's something that is my identity. The things that make me different because of my history, of my roots. So today competition is huge. So and sometimes it feels like we all architects do the same, and the only real advantage is that we have our identity. We are unique because our history, our roots, our essence, what we like and what we do. And diversity is not a slogan in that case. In this case, it's also a strategy, because when we show who we truly are and we connect with the people who choose us, not because we are better, but because we resonate with them. And that's how collaboration becomes a team with diversity. And then we start to be different, or we don't have to make any extra effort to be better than. It's because I am unique and I have something that makes me unique. So about women as leaders in the construction sector, I believe we carry something. So we women carry something very special in our nature. So we know how to bring people together, how to create safe spaces, how to nurture growth. So we do it instinctively. So we do it with families, with children, with communities. So why wouldn't we be able to do the same with our teams? So our weaknesses. So now women, we cry, we are sensitive, we are supportive, we maybe smile too much, we are actually our weapons. So we are already leaders. We just need to trust our instincts and believe in our decisions. So this is what we have to do, actually, to be ourselves, to trust in us, in ourselves, and also to use these weapons to need help. We don't have to fight. We don't have to be warriors. We don't have to be heroes. We have to join people. We have to make good teams. We have to ask for help. And this is what when we win, and we don't win alone. We win in teams. So this is, I think, our role. And I've forgotten what I wanted to say. So yes, as women in construction, we are not just part of the industry. That's what I wanted to say. Because we have to expand our language, the language of architecture. So we, as architects, no, so towards something more emotional, more inclusive, more human, and so this is our essence. And then we have to use it, and this is our role, actually. So we don't have to walk in this path alone. So we have to join. We have to support us. When we support each other, we build more than spaces, and we build actually the future. This is what is our role nowadays, and yeah, our task as women. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Architect Sophia. And as much as women, we nurture, we are, you can say biologically, we are nurtures. And it's really a great strength to even channel it into the construction. And also, this also channels us into even how we nurture the teams that we have, the teams that we work with. as much as construction is not a one-man army, it's a team's work, where we would also like to take this forward to Engineer Lillian, where as the director of Ellen engineers and project managers, we would like also to hear from you. How do you exactly, or what qualities or what measures do you use in assembling your team when it comes to working in these big projects that you previously a while ago shared with us? You're welcome, Engineer Lillian.
Thank you once again. Actually, answering this question has to be, I think, in two parts, because first of all, you have to know what are you looking for. Are you looking for a junior, fresh from from school, or are you looking for the experienced engineer, so that you know how, which criteria do you consider in hiring them? For example, for the junior, you don't have to go much into experience because we believe they don't have experience. So we just go back to technical know-how. We just ask simple questions on what he has been learning, but also we give them probation period, like 3 months probation period, whereby you keep on training, you keep on seeing how they perform, so that by the end of the 3 months, you can know if you keep the person or just let him or her go. Because we all believe everyone who have graduated has got the technical know-how. But in the 3 months probation period, in execution, you just know if he's capable of the position or not. But for the part of experienced one, it depends on the work, you have to check similar projects which that person has been engaged in. For example, you are looking for the 6-year experienced person with a similar working, maybe building, how many floors, or square meters. So you just check on those criteria. But they are typical for both junior and experienced, candidates. For example, communication. You just have to have a person who can communicate, because you believe we meet with different people, with different culture, even calmness, how to treat people, even leadership, because you engage with different type of people. And being an engineer, it doesn't end on dealing with engineering issues only. When you're at site, there are social issues, there are environmental issues. So if you are a leader, you know how to tackle the problems at hand. But also, we need also to know professionalism. There are ethical issues, so we need to check. And like when you are registered with ERB, we are given engineering ethics. So those are part and parcel of your qualities. For example, I cannot hire the person who every morning is coming to work drunk. No. So those are part of the all corrupted. Those are the issues. So in 3 months period, you can know the person. And normally you need to have a probation period. For well-experienced person, you can go up to 6 months or 1 year, because you know he's capable or she's capable. But for the junior, normally we take 3 months. We check if he or she is capable. But also we have the issue of, because before you get employed as a junior, right from the university, you have to be registered. The category is called graduate. That is part and parcel of the criteria for you to be hired. Even if you go through the advertisement, maybe we are looking for the engineer, one of the criteria is being registered. It doesn't matter, you have worked for 1 year, you have worked for 5, for 10. Every working experience has got its own registration criteria. So I encourage even those young engineers who are graduating, please make sure, even if you have not been employed, but you are still at home, be registered under the category of graduate engineer, because that is part and parcel of one of the criteria of you being employed. For the rest of us who are at least seniors, there are several criteria. There is professional, consulting, as who I am, there is mentorship, the senior ones, the top senior ones. So those are the major issues. First one is technical know-how. Fourth, leadership. Working experience will come, depends on what type of the person are you looking for. How many years experience, fresh or at least senior. Those are the major qualities that we are looking for. Thank you.
Thank you very much for highlighting this, Engineer Lillian. And we majorly put this on the table also for excuse me, for our mentees who are in this dialogue to truly understand as we are climbing those professional ladder in construction, there are things that we cannot we can say we cannot leave behind. Uh, just like what Engineer Lillian said, apart from the technical know-how, we also read you as a person when it comes to communication. And also there are regulations that truly guide in terms of even hiring the professionals in construction. And just like even this is why the mentorship program is there. We want the young leaders who are rising in construction industry to truly understand and to truly be capable towards building their competence in the construction as they are climbing their ladders. So I believe we have exhausted quite a lot, but also it's never enough because even our participants, our audience, through the conversations that and the experience that our panelists said, I believe somewhere, somehow they have their question, they have their comments. So now is the time that we have been waiting for, the Q&A session. And also please feel free to come in. You can ask your question to anyone, and our panelist is very friendly. They won't dodge your question, definitely. And if you have an additional or as an experienced also mentor in the program, please, this is your time now to share your experience through this. When we say we want to strengthen the professionalism in construction and actually seeing what women-led initiatives are taking forth. So this is the platform where we share the knowledge and grow together. So I would like to welcome any member from the audience with question, comment. This is your time. You can just raise your hand and we will definitely choose you. We have Rachel's mic open or wanting to say something. You're welcome. And as I'm looking for participants with a question, going to the chat box while our our panelists were talking, there have been some comments on how mentorship can be both direct and indirect from what Dr. Honorata was saying, different ways she took on being mentored the hard way, but she managed to pull it through. We have a hand from Gloria. Welcome, Gloria.
Hi everyone, my name is Gloria. Thank you very much, Architect Sophia, Engineer Lillian, and QS Dr. Eleonora. My question is actually to Architect Sophia. You say this shouldn't wait to be chosen. I'm a recent startup with my own architecture firm in Tanzania, and really I've been trying to go up to clients, go up to friends and say, hi, I just opened my firm recently, and my previous experience has been this and that. I volunteer with TAWAH, I engage in communities, but really the response is not really very positive. So what do you mean we shouldn't wait to be chosen? I personally don't know which path are the correct ones to be taken. Thank you very much, Winnie.
Gloria, hello, Gloria. I didn't listen so well. It was a little bit confusing. I don't know if I understood exactly your question, but you meant that why I mean that we don't have to be chosen. So I think this is your question. And what I meant is not always. And this I meant because we need to fail sometimes until we find our right way, because at first we want to be always better than, or we compare ourselves with another colleagues, and of course we have our goals, but the problem in has been chosen maybe is not to be better, Sonda, but it is to be ourselves with an identity. So this is the way we are going to be chosen, because you are identified for something special that nobody else and you has it. So you don't have to be better than other people, because then you are a standard. You're a standard size, you know, on the market, and it is so much and so huge the competition nowadays that it is impossible to be better. If you see portfolios, or if you see, for instance, in Instagram, any website or any page, or from a lot of, I mean, my field is the architecture. If you see how they present themselves, it's always the same. And I think we have a big problem to find our identity, and this is what makes us different. And maybe in this way they're gonna choose us because we are not different than the rest. We are unique, and somebody can identify with themselves. And this, I'm talking about architects in the profession who, like me, we are independent and we are in a big market with a lot of possibilities. And if somebody comes, a client comes and say, okay, look, I have 20 architecture bureaus. What should I choose? Then they choose, if everybody shows the same, they're going to choose the cheapest one, you know. So then you have to respond to a price that on the market is is a standard. But if you offer something different that nobody else offers, they will not ask you, and they will not compare your work with another works, because you are offering something different. And this, what you offer, has a price that will never be compared on the market with another ones, because you are unique. And this is what I mean when that we don't have to be in this competition, in this palette of I do the same and it has to be better. No, I have to be myself. Then I'm going to be chosen. This is what I meant. I don't know if your question is clearer.
Yes, yes, it is. I feel like it's a broader conversation that can be continued after this. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Gloria and Dr. Sophia, on actually delving on building your identity, and this comes in being unique. So as much as there are many people practicing construction, but make sure you get that one niche that truly makes them to choose you, like why you. And this, we get to learn it across failures going up and down, but at the end of the day we get to get a hold of it. Thank you very much for rising this discussion up. And we have a question from the chat box. This is Saidi Mansell, and I would like to also, before going to the question, to recognize him as our male mentee in the mentorship program we have with high school students. And Said has been such a, you can say, a proactive mentee. Now he is taking his diploma in water engineering at Water Institute in Tanzania. And he asked, so if you were a project manager and noticed your only female engineer was becoming increasingly quiet in a site meeting, Would you view this as an individual performance issue or a cultural red flag? How would you intervene? I believe Said here wants to address the issue of if a female practicing engineer or expert in construction tends to be quiet. How do we view this and how do we work upon this? So I would like to, he didn't say he's addressing this question to whom, but please, anybody from the panelists who would like to share their views on this question, you're very welcome. Welcome, Engineer Lillian.
Okay, maybe yeah, I think that here there are two issues. First of all, you need to check yourself. Just that mentality that because you are a female, the male people need to dominate. No. So you need to check yourself. So if you are really not that much performing, you pull up your socks. You make sure you keep on moving. Even if when you talk, they don't listen, then act daily. How you perform, even when you are given assignment, how you deliver, time management, even if it is a volunteering work, you keep on volunteering. Don't talk too much because words cannot help you. But how you perform, what you deliver, that is real matter. But if it is the matter of culture, I don't know if it's the matter of utamaduni, that female are always undermined and the male are always shining, that is another aspect. I don't know how to deal with it, but on my side, what I'll do, I'll just keep on pushing. I'll just keep on performing. And if there's anywhere that I can talk about it, I'll just say it. And if there's anywhere that I can suggest on how to do it. Because it will reach a time, if you just keep quiet, they'll just say that this for her is okay, we keep on doing. Itakuwa kama vile ni utaratibu, but no. But you just have to assess yourself. If it is your problem, then you pull up your socks. If it is their problem, you show them that you are not a problem. And culture is not something, most of the time we are saying, it's only the Bible or Quran is those are which cannot be changed. But all other things can be altered and they can be changed. So if it is just a utamaduni, normal culture, normal tradition, you just know how to go about it. It depends on where you are working. For the private companies, they don't have that much. But I believe for the government, they have that. They really know, they really put female, they don't want them to shine because they know if they shine, maybe they'll take their position. That's the problem. So I think I can answer it in that way. So if anyone else can add on, then you can just continue.
Thank you very much, Engineer Lillian. And also, I believe in addition to this question, also Said wanted to understand how can he help this female who is increasingly being quiet? Because here he said, how would you intervene?
Really,
In
I wanted to add on Said. Um, if his site is in Tanzania or at least Africa, there is a tendency sometimes he should check for issues such as sexual harassment. If the colleague has been sexually harassed, that is one. And then two, he should also check issues of corruption. Because sometimes if someone has already been corrupted at site, it's hard for them to start pointing out things already because that fruit will be used by either the contractor or any other fundi that you can't talk about this because we gave you something. So at least I know that is has been my experience. I've been in a couple of sites where people have tried to bribe me and I said no. And I know some of these issues can be used against you if you fall into that trap. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Gloria, for adding on in, into some of the challenges that also women face in the construction sector.
Sorry, can I add one thing, and maybe it's just an advice? For us, ERB, we have female mentorship also there. So if you are facing any issue, you need to report. You can get more assistance. They can lead you on how to solve that issue. That would be much better, so that you seek further advice, you seek further help from the board, because those are the ones which we all under the board. So even if it's a person who is harassing you, even if it's a company, anything, so they can even know how to summon the person, how to talk, and on how to deal with that issue. Yeah. Instead of you keeping quiet. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Lillian, for such an enlightenment and all towards building the competence. And we also have Dr. Victoria, who also has something to add on. You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you, Winnie. Many thanks to our speakers, Sophia, Elnorata, and Ginny Lillian. Thank you so much. It's been amazing. Been listening from the beginning. But I just wanted to chip in a little bit to respond to the question that was raised by Said and try to put myself in Said's shoes, where I'm sitting with my colleague and she's just quiet from the beginning to the end. So for me, what I would say, if I am Said and I know her and I know she's competent, maybe she's just shy, and knowing our culture, sometimes some of us were not raised to speak up, especially when you are in a community where dominated by men. It can be intimidating a bit. So what I'll do, because he also asked how you can intervene, what I'll do is maybe also try to ask her a question and something that I know she knows and she can respond with confidence. So maybe at least having some icebreaker and help her start speaking. And that could also be very, very helpful, and she can pick up the speed and continue talking. But it's very often that when you're quiet, it's also translated that you're not competent, or maybe you don't know the subject matter and things like that. But also, I find it's very often that people are wrong. They can judge somebody completely different because she's quiet. So I would be one way to intervene, especially for Said, if you're facing that kind of challenge, I think find a way to start and help her start talking by asking questions that you know she can respond to that, or I don't know, find some way and help her out instead of just let her be there like that and can be judged differently, but you already know she's competent and she can do the job. So yeah, thank you. I just wanted to add in on that a bit. Thanks. Thanks, Winnie.
Thank you very much, dear panelists and participants, for even engaging more. I saw a hand from Priscilla. Do you still have anything to add on or a question?
Nothing on my end.
Okay, thank you very much. So I believe we have exhausted quite a lot. And as we are about to wind up in our session, and just in a summary of this all, we would like to welcome once again our panelists with just a short advice to wind up this all, since we started on, especially if you were to advise an emerging young leader in construction, or even the ones who are still doing quite well in the field, as a fellow women leader in the construction industry, what would that advice be? just to wrap up and wind up the session. So I would like to welcome the panelists again. Feel free, we'll start with Dr. Eleanorata, then Architect Sophia, and finish up with Engineer Lillian. You're welcome.
Sorry, Winnie, please repeat because I was offline once again changing the internet because power is still off. Please repeat what you asked. Yeah.
Okay. I was saying just to wind up the session that we had, and in summary of all the things that we have discussed from the beginning, is if you were to advise an emerging young women leader in the field who is now beginning to build those ladders and building the starters in construction, what would that be from your end?
Oh, okay. Okay, since we are speaking of, yeah, I understand we are speaking here of mentees and also for us. For the mentees, first we have those who are fresh graduates because I think there are some mentees, but they already have been into the field. It's not, thinking of my own case, it's not as same as fresh from university or those approaching, because I understand in the mentorship program we have those who are still in the final year. So for those also who are approaching graduation, just to be aware, they know, maybe to emphasize that you are now coming to a space where learning becomes practical, which as I experienced, which is the reality, learning becomes practical and it continues. Yeah, so you should keep learning. And at this stage, I don't know if all will agree with me, but I would say do not measure your success too early. Just it's not an appropriate measure or indicator. Just understand the learning process like that. For the ones who have been in the field for a while, it's more what I've already been hinting, keep learning, be confident, think of professional development, attend CPDs. But with the limited opportunities, I don't want to emphasize of like develop a niche or a speciality. Like Win is very good in writing technical proposals. So and so is good in arbitration. So and so is good in dealing with claims. Just diversify as much as you can, depending on opportunities that and how they will come around based on the reality that in our countries we do not have opportunities, but they are there. Said competence will be the key thing. And for us, the mentors, it's, as I said, for me at least, we keep learning. And as we guide others, I'm saying it because sometimes I become maybe too pushy or trying to force someone to become your copy because you believe this is correct, this is how it should be, while the honest truth is not, we are not 100% still learning. But in mentioning that, I should also add two issues, which I said I will speak about as we wind up. One is about men whom we work with. I'm glad to hear that we have Said. Yeah. So Said is a mentor or a mentee?
MNT.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's good because I said at the end I will ask Vicky or whoever is coordinating, do you think of having men as mentors or as mentees, and why yes or why not? Because why am I saying this is because It's very true that the construction industry sector is still male dominated. We work with them, they are employers, they are mentors. Thinking of my case, all the friends who have mentored me informally and formally have been men, and it has been a very all of them. So it's something how to figure out how the men in our career space can support us, how to normalize the professional boundaries if you think there is an issue. Just saying, I haven't heard anything on the contrary, but just in case anyone would misinterpret when we say women this, women this, women this. No, but still we need to, as Lillian also emphasized, we need to promote ourselves because we are still a few, but we are good, we are performing, we are delivering. So yeah. And another thing is about Gen Z, Generation Z. This is your generation. It's not wrong. Sometimes, as the old school will complain or will speak, they are not listening, or they are sometimes even at home. I wonder, you serious? And then my daughter will ask me, are you serious? Eh? So I asked him, tunasema, why are you doing this? Why? Then people are even surprising, what's the issue with you? Why are you? Then you are surprised at this person and they are busy surprised at you old mama. So what I'm saying is, because it has something to do with the career development, unajishtukia so am I too strict, am I wrong? But then you say no, I'm correct. Then you are even stricter, only to find out. So we need to have harmony. It's not bad, it's just because I cannot say one generation isn't understanding the other. It's just because we are shaped from different environments. As we should each value the flexibility, because this is the huge chunk of people who are growing and flowing into the industry. So we cannot resist change as mentors. We cannot resist change. We need to accommodate them. But this generation Z have very good, they are sharper than us. I would say they are curious, they are confident. Those who I meet, they are very confident communicators. They don't even wait to be invited. They invite themselves. And then they are digitally fluent, they are sharp. So they are very good issues, many actually. But then there is this side when it's not, I keep emphasizing, it's not a bad thing. It's how you are built. So, but the bottom line is, with the way you value flexibility, when I say you, I mean Winnie and others, that generation, it affects career path. It does. Because the construction industry is traditionally, the way it's traditionally hierarchical and experience-based. So learning, getting the experience is a necessity. No one is asking you to change, but the bottom line, whatever mode you operate in, that's your value. It's your value because you believe this is correct, this is what I should do. So whatever mode you're operating in, just make sure you deliver expectation or beyond expectation, if I may put it like that. Because what a colleague, an employer, once you have your own company, you call Gen Alpha, Gen Z, Gen whatever, and old school, the bottom line is to deliver what is expected to the standard and beyond standard. So just we like this inatuchangamsha hata sisi, do this, yeah. Lakini and especially since it's a digital world, the construction industry evolving. So yeah, it's good. We appreciate you. We like the way you are vibrant and thinking, but yeah, keep that in mind as you learn and build your career. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Unarata. And as a member of the Gen Z, we truly, truly appreciate this advice. And I believe it's interesting. We will find a way of having this Gen Z and millennial or baby boomers common ground session. I think it will be really, really nice because these are the wisdom that without us getting to tap into it, we'll find out that we're just going like chop head chickens. So thank you very much, Dr. Norata. And also here in the comment, I'm seeing Architect Linda saying that they will surprise you and you'll be surprised the more than kids. And also she truly cemented on learning and getting experience is necessity in construction sector. No shortcut. You can't escape.
Yeah.
So to the fellow young generation, emerging leaders in construction, if there's one thing that we need to get out with in this session is this: keep on learning from our seniors, and yeah, we keep on growing. Welcome, Architect Sophia, for your final words of advice.
Thank you, Winnie. Well, of course, I agree. I think we must improve ourselves and go on learning. But I also believe that professionalism is in construction today is not only about precision and efficiency. It's also about empathy, excuse me, collaboration, identity, and about understanding that building is a human act, that we have to be there just not to construct walls in a place, but places for being well and to enjoy them, and for the users and with the users. And this is very important, no? So this is what we have to think about, that we cannot decide how our users are going to live. The places, they must be their places, and we have to involve them. So for that, we need we don't have to be alone in this path. We have to create a network to support us each other, and so we can build the future of the construction.
Thank you very much, Architect Sophia, for cementing on, as much as construction deals with the structures, it's also the end users in it. So we should also think about them, being empathetic, and that's how we build, you can say, a community together. Thank you very much. And welcome, Engineer Lillian, for your final words of advice.
Okay, thank you very much. Of course, most of the points have been mentioned by the other speakers. I just have 2 or 3 for the mentees. One is master your your foundation. What I mean, keep on learning. Fundamentals are very important. You keep on learning. Whatever new thing come up, take it, learn it. Don't ignore. And we call it tusio wajuaji. We are always learning. Engineers, we are always learning. And as we can see, technology is coming up. New things are coming up. New technologies are coming up. Whatever I learned for the past 18 years is quite different from what people are learning now. Yeah, even the tools are using different. So we keep on learning, But one thing very important, document keeping. Everything has to be documented. Everything. Because there are audits, we know, and we pass in the projects. You find a young engineer, we're asking, do you have any site meetings report? No. Test results? No. because these are the documents for audits. Because the project it is not over during the contract period. It says for 50 years, for 20 years, you might find you are very far somewhere else, you are being called. There's an issue with the project you supervised 5, 10 years back. So document keeping is very important. Juniors, please, because we meet most of them, they don't keep, because nowadays we are using soft technology. We don't use hard copies, whatever. Whatever means you are using, keep the data. Because when you are given the project, we assume that everything, whenever you go, even if you have finished the project, whatever we'll ask, you just give us. So that's word of my encouragement. But another thing, networking. Don't just be yourself, be visible, be visible. Like now, I'm very happy that we have this mentoring program. You keep all the young and whatever junior in construction together. But when you go out, you talk to your fellow graduates. I don't know even if people are already working. Networking is very important, because you cannot just stay yourself and you think one day you'll be someone somewhere without people knowing you. As I said before, I get most of the projects because of networking. I talk, I engage. That's very important. But to my fellow mentors, let us do the right ways. Let us show these young people the right ways. How to, what can I say? Show them the proper ways, ethical ways, because they are looking at us. Whatever we are doing, they have to follow what we are doing. Whatever we are talking, they have to follow what we are saying. So we need to be real mentors. We really need to be showing them the right ways. But the other thing, let us provide practical exposures, because one of my mentee was complaining that she's just staying in the office. So we need to take them out to show them the real situation, because if you are telling her design the house, put the column, I don't know, put the beam, and she doesn't even know how the column looks like before you put the concrete, how the beam looks like. So we need to expose them technically. Outside practical exposure is very important. But the last thing, let us help them break the barriers. We keep on telling them, just be strong, show yourself in a proper way. You break the barrier. There is no difference between a female and a male engineer. We are all equal. So let us just help them to break whatever the barrier is facing them. We need to tell them, please, keep on moving, keep on shining, show up. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, dear panelists. And just to wind up also, in the additional comments we have from Gloria, where she said, by interacting with more and more people, client, workers, and collaborators, sharing ideas, asking and answering questions, working together. And the more you engage with people in the industry, the more you learn and also get to respect value and ask for your knowledge. I guess this is quite a great summary that we've got today, and also what Engineer Lillian cemented on networking, going out there. So thank you very much. And 2 hours are never enough within these engaging sessions, but at least we make sure that we make the most of it. And before we go further into closing the session, it's our long-awaited time of photo time. So we will kindly ask for every participant in this dialogue, if you're in a great situation of turning on your camera, please do so. We are going to take a group photo, and the recording of this session will be shared via our emails and the WhatsApp groups that we have. Please also feel free to share and repost in your social media accounts. That's how we really grow much together. So everybody, please put on your camera. Ready? Smile. Another one. Very good. Okay, one more picture. Okay. Thank you very much, dear mentors, mentees, participants, for joining in. And actually, to wind up, we would really like to share that TAWAH for this year will be celebrating its 15 years of its existence and still existing, where we celebrate the shaping dreams and breaking barriers. So, through what TAWAH has been doing, we have been seeing a lot of women, elder, children through different programs that we have being, you can say, growing into different areas. And what we're really proud of is through this Women in Construction Network, where we get to learn from different women across different areas in the globe. So it's really a great milestone. And for mentors who are planning to be in Tanzania this year, we would really like to welcome you on the 24th of July, where it will be like the peak of the celebrations. It will be done in Dar es Salaam, and we will share more details of this milestone and looking forward to grow even more, growing our network of women in construction. And also, as Dr. Noretta pointed out, on even finding ways of trying to work with men, even in the practical side. So we will see on how we can accommodate this, but we are really thankful. Thank you very much, and we would like to wish you a very great evening. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thank you and
Bye.
goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.